Hello everybody and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It is time for the Esports Tower Rocket League Winter Ones event. We are having a very special event broadcast for you tonight with esports players fighting off in a double elimination 1v1 event. We will get to see some incredible individual play and some jaw-dropping mechanics. So let's kick off this event and see who will take it home. I am your host, Brenner Berlad. Joined with me on the desk today is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. And so going into this 1v1 series, we're typically seeing a more 3v3 series from a lot of the Rocket Leagues that we normally see on Boise State. So going over to Esports Tower, these are their own professional players. So walk us through what kind of a 1v1 situation might look like compared to a 3v3.
So we're going to see a lot more probably. So if you're just a single person playing, you are the only one that does all of the rotations, right? Like you have nobody that can rely on that. So we're going to have to see a lot of really, really high level boost management because you have to do everything yourself, right? If you're just the only one there, you have to be the only one that does all of the rotations. So boost management will be key, as well as probably aerial play, because there is no passing. So you will have to be able to either get the ball in yourself or find some way to do that without the defender stopping you.
Yeah, and one great thing about this Esports Tower Rumble is that we do have a solidified bracket with these players. As we take a look at the standings of both the winners and the losers, already Katz was able to win that first round and head himself into the semifinals, with Bai heading down into the losers bracket. So some exciting matches to look forward to as we are kicking things off for the night. And all of these teams are Esports Tower teams, and they come from a very talented, stable player base. And these teams are going to include Cats, Adrift Lemming, Thrift, Cran, Real Plea, Crazy Cat, and Greed. A lot of faces that we've seen in previous Esports Tower Rumbles. And one thing we would like to remind you as viewers, as we get ready to jump into our first match here on Twitch, is that if you want to support your team, make sure to celebrate their successes here in chat and be respectful of other fans as well. And be in mind that if you break any of the Twitch rules, our mods will remove you from chat. But as we once again get ready to kick things off, another great thing these players can take note from is Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League. And in Rocket League, that is to create mistakes, punish the DBL commit, don't overstay your welcome, and bump opponents to disrupt. A definitely key thing that's going to happen in the 1v1s. And these are presented to us by Esports Tower, where you can scroll pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and coaches to help you rank up. We are ready to jump into round number 1 of this winner's bracket before we head into our other brackets to try to populate it with these players. And jumping into this round 1 with both Greed and Crazy Cats kicking things off for the night in winner's bracket round 1 match. Both these players are known for their solo play, their highlight reel shooting styles. This is a really intense game to start off the night. So let's get in and see who will be moving forward in the winner's bracket.
Greed definitely looking styling in that new festive car, getting some boost as he tries to dribble across the field, is able to get the score onto Crazy Cats, which now Crazy Cat will be on the defense here. They really want to get first ball possession as they set off, and it looks like things are going to go Greed's way, but Crazy Cat is able to take the ball back, kind of ends up passing it to Greed, and Greed gets another shot at an almost completely open goal there.
Yeah, in these 1v1s, it's going to be very high-scoring games because one player makes a shot. If the other one can't get it 10 times, it's going to go in, not having any of those other players to back you up. And both these players are very well known in the esports tower scene and already trying to tie things up with Crazy Cats getting a goal of their own. And this is all within the first minute of the match. We still have 5 more minutes in this matchup.
1v1 Rocket League is definitely very different from traditional 3v3 Rocket League in the way that it's high scoring. As you just mentioned, Fish, it looks like Crazy Cat is going to go ahead and try to set up another goal against Greed. Greed now has possession of the ball, has been denied by Crazy Cat. Now both of them are heading over to the blue side of the arena. Crazy Cat forced to defend their goal. Greed says, not in my house. I'm going to go ahead and take that other score off of you. And Crazy Cat is really just kind of fighting to stay alive at this point with the first minute of the game down.
Yeah, Greed's been very aggressive, had a great backboard play there after Crazy Cat tried to win on the defense.
Oh my
but
gosh.
once again,
There he is again.
1-4, and we're still within the first minute of this match. Crazy Cats has a ton of time to come back, but Greed having a very strong start.
It's got to be that stylish car, I gotta say. It's definitely not, you know, boost management or any of those other things. And now we see Crazy Cat trying to set up something here, and Greed is there to defend. Greed successfully does that, and as is the prize for a successful defense, gets a shot at Crazy Cat's completely empty goal. Especially in 1v1 Rocket League, what you're looking for is a successful defense. That will provide you every opportunity that you need to go on the offense, and that is exactly what Greed has been doing. But it looks like Crazy Cat gets that first ball and is going to go ahead and score onto Greed before Greed had any time to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's the big crutch of 1v1s as soon as the ball gets away in a player's favorite direction, and that 50-50 breaking even, things already looking very good for Crazy Cats, but Greed is able to block it just in time. These players are very neck and neck. Greed with the defense, but it's not able to clear it, and will get knocked in. 3v5 now, the minute 30 being passed up. These players can definitely still make this match very close, but Greed's still having that strong start. Things are looking good for him. An open goal is what Crazy Cats needs. Very close to a tie game already.
Crazy Cat definitely coming from behind. The first minute belonging to Greed. The second minute here is belonging to Crazy Cat. As we head over to Greed's side of the court yet again, Greed will likely be there to defend, and Crazy Cat is now going to defend their own goal because Greed sent it over there. We see both teams just kind of like racing, using that boost in proper rotations, trying to get one failed shot and then immediately go back on to defense here, which is exactly what Greed is going to do. Take that defense and turn it into an offense. Luckily, Crazy Cat was able to get there just in time.
Yeah, definitely a strong showing, but now this is an even tie game. Crazy Cat's closing that distance. It used to be 1-4, now it's a 5-5 match. Greed kind of falling off a little bit, but can easily bring this right back. But seems
Wow.
Crazy Cat's coming in with the lead with a great long play, just bouncing off the wall in his favor. Greed not able to get back in time. You know, Crazy Cats is a very well-known mechanical player and an individual player with some very flashy 1v1 plays, but Greed we know from the Vipers of previous Esports Tower Rumble for the Rocket League in 3v3s, and he's been really standing out as this team, where we can see here in the 1v1s came out very strong, but beginning to fall off ever so slightly as Crazy Cats brings it to a 2-point lead.
Crazy Cat is able to have the ball go their way from the very first play, and that's incredibly important in an individual play because you don't have time to make mistakes, and if the first ball doesn't go your way, now Greed is going to try to get it set up on Crazy Cat's side. Crazy Cat has just enough boost to try to do something about it. Might have just overshot it a little bit, as now Greed is left with an empty goal, and that overshot does end up costing Crazy Cat a point and gaining Greed another point to catching Crazy Cat there.
Yeah, these 1v1s are going to be very high scoring. Not able to have any teammates to help you out on the goalie position. They're going to have very strong offensive defense, more so than any other Rocket League matches, because they're only accountable for themselves. There's nobody else that you can try to shift the blame, as is so popular in multiplayer games of, it's not me, it's the other guy. Well, now it's a 1v1. It's all on you. And it seems to be working out in these players' favors as Greed gets free control of the ball. And Crazy Cat's behind him. This is an easy dribble in for Greed, making it a tie game once again.
I would say that Crazy Cat's biggest issue right now is going too far on the offensive. I would say in a 3v3, they're probably most often the forward player, and it seems those habits are kind of coming to bite them a little bit against Greed with the kind of overcommits and being unable to protect their own goal, which it looks like they were there. An attempt was made by Crazy Cats. They just weren't quite able to get there just in the amount of time. And so now this is Greed's game yet again. Overall, very back and forth. Crazy Cat could easily turn this around.
Yeah, especially in 1v1s with how quickly they're scoring these goals. Seems like he will try to make the defense here, but Greed is there with a great knock-up, stopping that defense, and clears it very easily right into the goal. Greed taking a solid lead, and with only a minute 20 remaining, things are not looking good for Crazy Cat, but with these 50-50s, it is definitely possible for him to get it right off the bat. Greed, though, coming in with a great flying defense, able to block it away, and gets a free open shot and goal as Crazy Cat's not able to get there in time. Boost management has definitely been hurting these players. They go for a very aggressive play, but aren't able to get back in time for the defense.
And that is, again, Crazy Cat suffering from their own overcommits and, like you said, boost management as well. Rotations are very important, and Greed is rotated back just in time to not only defend against Crazy Cat's shot, but also dribble down the field and see if he can get his own shot that Crazy Cat will block. Crazy Cat was there to do that. Greed is not quite done shooting, however. It looks like Crazy Cat is going to be able to turn this around. Not quite. This is still anybody's ball, anybody's game, honestly, because we've seen 5 or more points. That was an incredible rotation of the ball there. Amazing score by Greed.
A very solid dribble play that he was able to maintain for Crazy Cats as he's brought this game to a now 8-10, soon to be 9-10 with how quickly he can score these goals. 30 seconds on the board. Greed only has that 1-point buffer to try to win this out. So now he's going to have to be a very strong defensive. The 50-50 does go in his way as well with the ball on the side of Crazy Cat's core. Crazy Cat's definitely going to have to play defensive, and so is Greed, but seems he's trying to make this even out with another dribble play. Will be blocked by Greed, though. Neither of these players trying to go for a demo, though, onto each other, as they've been having to just utilize the boost just to keep up with each other. Not having that free roam to just take control of the board. But now with Greed going on the defensive, Crazy Cats went for the play, missed it.
Nice.
Greed
Amazing shot by Greed. Stole that right out from under Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat thought they had them on the defensive, but no. Greed was just biding their time, waiting for that exceptional shot, and now they get the first ball roll, and it looks like they will be able to set up a second score before Crazy Cat can do anything about it.
I believe Crazy Cat might have actually left that match as it was decided, but it seems that the first one will go over to Greed. And of course, this is brought to us by the Esports Tower, where you can score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Greed, a very solid showing in the first round of the winner's bracket. but we can kick things right back off with round number 2, with Green now moving forward to take on Cran. So let's get into this winners bracket matchup with Cran taking on Greed in a round 2 matchup. Greed is coming into the series after a great round against Crazy Cats. This 1v1's competition momentum can be everything, with Cran being such an incredible player who's not going to go down easily. We're waiting to see who will continue in this winner's bracket and who will drop down to the losers.
And it looks like right now Greed is on the offensive, able to get that score onto Crayon. Crayon was there to defend, just did it a second after the net, started. So Greed was able to get that score. Now we see whose side the ball will go on to initially, and it looks like now Greed will be put on the defensive as Crayon goes for the score and gets it with ease, set up a really clean shot into an open net. Greed tried to come flying across there to defend, was not able to in time.
Yeah, these two players are very much evenly matched. Greed, very surprisingly, was able to take down Crazy Cats, who is very well known for his 1v1s, but Greed was able to come in and have a dominating performance. So now going up against Cran, he's one of the most talented esports tower players that they got, and he's put a ton of time to improve his individual play, which we're seeing as he now takes the lead in this matchup. But with 4 minutes to remain, anything can happen.
Greed was definitely not necessarily the favored player going into this, but it looks like they might be the favored player going forward, and a little bit of a caster's curse there. Just as we say that, Greed goes ahead and gets scored on. But like we saw last game, you could easily score 5 goals in under a minute. So this is still really anybody's game with 4 minutes, 10 seconds left and both teams tied up.
Yeah, it seems that even Greed missing a shot there. Cran gonna capitalize on it. The smallest mistakes can cost you. Gave him an inch, took a mile. Now, once again, back up to the 50-50. Greed losing it just barely. Cran, things looking very good. Greed's gonna have to get back in time, as once again, boost management coming in, not being in his favor. Was able to pick up that 100 boost, but now it is gonna be Cran on the defensive. Greed goes for a great play right over his head. Ties game once again.
An exceptionally well executed dribble that ties the game up yet again. We'll see who gets to score this next round, and likely the other person will try to tie it up. It looks like Cran is going to try to score on Greed here. Gets it in easily. Greed is unable to do anything about it. Very, very nice. Now it's up to Greed to try to tie this back up in his own favor, maybe even get up a point. Things are off to a less than stellar start as we head on to Greed's side of the court with Crayon in possession of the ball, trying to get that score again. Greed with that very important overcommit. Probably punishing overcommits is the most important thing in these initial 1v1s. We saw Greed do it against Crazy Cats, and now we're seeing Crayon do it against Greed. And so that puts us at 3-5 with Greed down and Crayon up 2.
Yeah, Cran consistently winning these 1v1s is definitely giving him that leg up of already just playing offensive, whereas Greed's having to be on the defensive. But finally, we're going to see Greed get a little bit of the offensive. Not having the boost, though, to keep up with Cran is going to cost him dearly, as Cran's quite literally just running away with it. Could see a possible score attempt here. He does have the boost, goes for the mid-air shot, but Greed is there to clear it directly underneath him. Now this looking very good. He will get the shot. Cran is not there in time, and passing that 3-minute marker, things are looking good for Cran, but it's only a 1-score difference to prevent that overtime.
What we saw that was problematic last fight was Crayon had a lot of boost, and it looks like Greed is just going to go right into the goal, get that score, tie the game up with 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Crayon and Greed equal positions, equal score. Things head Crayon's way this first round as they're able to get on the blue side of the court and still maintain possession of the ball. But Greed is there to defend. They are able to do so successfully, but they send it right back to Crayon, and this is still Crayon's ball, and they will get another shot at the goal. Will Greed be able to? They absolutely are able to defend, and now what they really need to do is try to take this ball away from Crayon, as they are very obviously doing. Dribble it down the court and see if Greed can get their own score.
Yeah, you see these players, how often they're playing around those boost pads, because we see this even in the 3v3s. When they're on the hard defense, they're gonna be losing in that boost game. Greed's there with the defense, isn't able to get it up off the air in time. So it will go over to the side of Cran. Things looking very good right now for Cran, but with 2 minutes remaining, as we keep mentioning, these goals can go either direction, because missing a shot like that is going to cost you. But Cran is able to get back in time. Not able to clear it fully, though. Bounces off that left goalpost and does go in. We're once again back at tie game at the perfect 2-minute marker.
I'm not going to lie to you, Fish. I did not know if that shot by Greed was going to go in, but it looks like with a little assistance from Crayon, actually, that shot was able to go in and tie up the game. It looks like Crayon is going to try their own score. Greed is going to be able to block it, but not take possession away from Crayon, who now, because of this, gets an extra shot at the goal. Greed's going to go ahead and take not only the ball, but defend the goal. Crayon's trying to defend their own, sends it right back to Greed, and now both teams are kind of like skirting around each other, trying to defend and attack the orange goal. Greed is going to go ahead and get it in. There was a little bit of an issue with the crossbar bar there. Had to do a little bit of a double touch. And now Greed is again in the lead, which we haven't seen since the beginning of the game, as things head right on over to Greed's side of the court, now immediately on the defensive, which is something that Crayon has done quite frequently.
Yeah, and Greed finally getting the first demo of the game. Clear and open goal is going to go over to his side. So now with the 8-6 lead right now going into a minute 15, Greed off to a very good start, trying to get that early goal off the 50-50, but hopefully we'll be able to get on the defense in time. Does end up missing it, goes wide open, but he will shoot too high and hit that top crossbar and will not be able to secure it. Now trying to edge him out on the defense and bumping just ever so slightly. Won't go for the demo, but an open goal means a free goal for the side of Crayon.
The crossbar was able to save Greed a point the first time, was unable to do it a second time, and Crayon is able to score. Now, will they be able to tie it up and take an extra score in the extra 50 seconds? It looks like they're going to be able to tie it up. Let's see if Crayon can keep playing like this. There's 51 seconds left, so this is still anyone's game as both players are tied. Crayon gets the initial ball. Greed overcommits, and now there is an open goal for Crayon's taking. They just need to line up the perfect shot, and in taking time to line that up, Greed is there on the defensive, trying to take it away from Crayon, trying to defend their goal. It looks like Crayon is still in possession of the ball. Greed can't quite get it away from them until just right now as we head on over to the orange side of the court, and Crayon is now on the defensive as Greed shows some exceptional dribbling skills.
Yeah, it's definitely just mind games at that point of which way am I going to go. He does go for the top right play, but is not able to get the bounce he wants, and a missed defense shot is going to cost him a goal as Crayon takes the lead. 10 seconds remaining. It is possible for Greed, but he has to win the 50-50 here right at the start, because if it goes like that in Crayon's favor, it is not what you want to see. So Greed's going to have to try to keep this ball off the ground. We've seen him have those expert dribble plays before. He's going to have to clear it, but it's going to be up in the air. So now we're in overtime. It is do or die. He's going to have to dribble it the best he can so it does not touch the ground. But Crayon's one goal is to make sure. Yeah, he wants the game to end because he will win it. Oh, Greed is doing the best dribbling of his life right now to keep himself in the game, and it has an attempt on goal. Gets the backboard play, but it touches the ground in the goal. And it will go to Crayon. A brutal loss for Greed there, but that will send him to the loser's bracket, so he will continue on in this tournament, though. As we kick things over, now over to the loser's bracket in round number 2. We are continuing things on here with Crazy Cats going up against Thrift this time round, so we can jump right into that, hopefully, as we're going to see Thrift taking on Crazy Cats. We saw Crazy Cats lose against Greed, but it was a very close match. So now in the round 2 matchup of this loser's bracket, we can see that this tournament is still running alive. Crazy Cats did end up falling to the loser's bracket in round 1, but is looking to bounce back and make a deep run in this event. Thrift, though, is a very intense round 2 matchup, and these winners for the bracket will end up falling to Cats. So we will have to wait and see how this plays out. But let's go ahead and kick off this elimination match between Thrift and Crazy Cats. Just kicking right into it. See if Crazy Cat is able to redeem themselves. Same with Thrift, both losing in round 1 of that winner's bracket. And Thrift been known to be playing with Lion recently for the Esports Tower. Been part of their dominant run in the Rumbles lately, but already off to a very good start is Thrift. Crazy Cat with a rough round 1 matchup is looking to against Greed. It really needs to have a big performance here to make it through the loser's bracket, because it was a very surprising upset, but both these players have a lot to prove as we continue on this Rumble.
And it looks like Thrift is up the point as we head on over to the orange side of the court. Crazy Cat is on the defense, but is able to kind of turn that around. Thrift is kind of playing the game of keep away right now, just trying to get Crazy Cat to overcommit and hopefully get a wide open goal. He does not get what he wants, and actually Crazy Cat tries to take it all the way over to Thrift's side. Thrift is able to arrive just in time, but then hands the ball back on over to Crazy Cat. They're just currently passing it back and forth, seeing who can do what, and right now Crazy Cat has a perfect shot at the goal. Thrift made a very rotated incorrectly, was not there for the goal ball there, and so that cost them a point, tying up the game. But there's still 4 minutes and 3 seconds left. This is still obviously anybody's game and will likely be high scoring. Thrift didn't even look like they wanted to defend that there. They just kind of gave that Crazy Cat for free. I wonder if there was something else going on. I think they expected the crossbar to do some of the defending for them, but that was unfortunately not the case. As we take things over to Crazy Cat's side of the court, Crazy Cat is able to immediately get possession of the ball, loses it to Thrift. Thrift is now shooting shots on Crazy Cat, who has been able to defend 2 so far, and as a reward for that gets the ball down the court onto now Thrift's side, putting Thrift on the defense. A nice little pop-up there puts Thrift into scoring on their own goal for Crazy Cat there. Amazing rotations by Crazy Cat, able to not only defend their point, but take it to Thrift because of that successful defense.
Yeah, so now heading into goal number 5 for these two players. Things are already looking very good for Crazy Cat, who's having a very dominating performance. We talked about earlier how they're a bit of a flashy 1v1 player, but Thrift getting an excellent shot onto goal, bouncing it off. That left bar has definitely been his friend. He used it earlier, as you mentioned, for that first goal that he did end up getting, as Crazy Cats wasn't there for the defense. And once again, we're in a tie game within 30 seconds. 3-3, Thrift coming back alive right now.
That seems to be the trend here. As soon as someone scores, someone else scores, maybe once or twice. Most often these games are ties until somebody makes a very big play like that demo. Thrift is now the only one on the court, able to get things quickly. Crazy Cat responds just in time to defend their own goal, but will they be able to turn off Thrift? I mean, that demo definitely helps and kind of gives them the opportunity to take it to Thrift's side. Thrift, like Crazy Cat, will spawn just in time to get that amazing dive defense, but unlikely. There was no defense to be had there. Both players were rushing for it. Crazy Cat was not quite, the defense was not quite able to get there in time. Now Crazy Cat and Thrift are Crazy Cat's trying to get it in on Thrift, is able to do so successfully. Thrift was unable to be in the goal to push that out. So even though the ball was moving very slow, it scored quite decisively, and now the game is 5-3.
Yeah, Thrift is definitely coming alive in this last, minute even. Will get an amazing shot on the goal, but finally Crazy Cat is there with the defense, having to play very defensively, trying to get on the offense as the ball is finally on Thrift's side of the court, but will not be able to maintain it for long as Thrift does get control of the ball from the wall, gets a great shot from the right goalpost this time. Gets a great bounce play into the Crazy Cat's goal as he was not able to keep up. The boost management is live or die. These tiniest of misplays can cost you a goal in these 1v1s, and already going for the backboard play, will end up getting it. Thrift is on a tear with a 4-goal lead.
An exceptional double touch score there. That was done within seconds, was done amazingly well. Ball is going to go ahead and go into no one's side of the court, but currently Crazy Cat has possession. Thrift will have to fall back and defend their own goal from Crazy Cat, which they do, but miss the defense just barely. Crazy Cat trying to come alive, tie this game, maybe even win. It still is anybody's game. We have 1:57. We've seen more than 5 points scored in 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely the big crutch of a 1v1 is you're never out until the fat lady sings. And right now, they got 1:40 for this to happen. And Crazy Cat trying to get on the offensive, but as soon as he loses the ball possession, he's going to have to go on the defensive, and the demo comes out for Thrift. So he has free reign to get this shot, is not able to get the angle he wants. Will bounce off that left bar for Crazy Cat, and already Thrift is back on the defensive as Crazy Cat's just trying to keep up with the boost game. Is able to block it, but with that bump in, tried to bump him out of the way, but Thrift gets it. So he's holding this 4-goal lead against Crazy Cat right now.
We do notice that Crazy Cat has more overall saves, so it seems like what Thrift is doing is just shooting a lot of shots, which, I mean, as we've discussed in Team Rocket League play, the team that shoots more shots usually wins because shots mean more chances to score, and Crazy Cat was going to try to rotate down the field to do exactly that onto Thrift. Is looking at a wide open goal. Thrift is unable to get there, unable to get even on screen, do anything about that defense there. And Crazy Cat scores again, trying very hard to get 3 or 4 points within these last 53 seconds here.
It's definitely possible, but not with a play like that coming out from Thrift immediately. Getting control of the ball and securing his 4-goal lead, not giving Crazy Cat an inch, but finally Crazy Cat coming out the 50-50 with ball position on Thrift's side, but will lose control of it and give it right over to Thrift as he had that goal position. Goes right over Crazy Cat's head, and that should be a goal for Thrift as Crazy Cat's not even gonna try to use the last of his boost to get there. So now with it being 10-5, 30 seconds on the board, the pressure is on if he wants to continue in this loser's bracket for round 2.
With every goal Thrift scores, it's more and more unlikely that Crazy Cat will be able to tie this up, but it looks like they haven't given up hope quite yet. Things are looking pretty difficult, though, in these last 27 seconds. They need 4 or more points if Crazy Cat would like to tie this up and even win against Thrift.
Yeah, and right now things are not looking good with 20 seconds having to score multiple goals. Will end up getting 1. He just needs 3 more in 15 seconds, so he's going to have to pretty much get it off every 50-50 here. But Thrift is not going to let that happen, winning this 50-50 almost immediately. Crazy Cat didn't even get there in time. Once again, the boost management being a key issue for so many of these players in the 1v1s, but Thrift getting a free goal here will be able to secure his victory in this 1S event. So it looks like he's looking to continue on in this loser's bracket. So we have to wait and see who he'll be going up against as they're doing their best to keep the game alive. Seems that he is maybe just a little bit flexing on his opponent. Will just end up throwing it. He wants to get this one last final goal. It's the knife in of finishing him off with that double tap. Will end up just dropping the ball in the dribble and will not quite get it. So Thrift will continue on in this loser's bracket, but we have more Rocket League for you as we're heading into the other round of the loser's bracket with Adrift and Greed going head to head. We did see Greed end up losing in that winner's bracket match, but we have one more round for you as they are heading into what should be a very intense game between these two players, very well known in the esports tower scene. Both these players have incredible solo skill and have displayed multiple Rumble events. Now they will play their very best if they want a chance at continuing in this event. So we're going to jump right into this game where things are already looking very good for Adrift, but Greed on the defense in the blue, Adrift in the orange. Adrift canceling out that aggressive play, but Greed never even moved. Gets a free shot on goal off the right goal post and starting things off right.
And that's always the best way to start, is getting a free shot onto the goal. Now we see whose side the 50-50 goes. It is barely on Adrift's side, but now Adrift has possession of the ball, and Greed is forced to defend as Adrift makes a second attempt at the goal. But now, because of that failed defense, things rotate onto the orange side of the court, which is not exactly what optimal for Adrift as they try to get it back on the blue side. Greed heading over, ready to defend against Adrift's shots. Adrift has maintained possession of the ball regardless on whose side of the court it's been on. Greed has had little opportunity except for just right now to touch this ball, and it looks like the second Greed touches it, they get the goal, but they also get demoed. So, I mean, you know, their last final wish there was that second goal, bringing the game to 2-0 with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it seems both these players like going for the goal post plays, bouncing it off the best they can, but coming in, Adrift is able to clear the ball from that shot on goal and possibly get one of his own to try to get himself on the board, but Greed is there with a great defense, and Adrift not able to get there in time. The ball will go too far off to the right, though, so Greed barely not able to aim that shot, but back on the defense, Adrift trying to read each other the best they can. Will go for right down the middle, but Greed is there with the defense trying to get a shot on goal, line it up for himself. Adrift does miss the block, and it will cost him Greed in a 3-0 lead.
We expect this to be a high-scoring game. We expected that from the beginning, but with three scores, and this is actually a little bit less than we were expecting with 3 scores just on Greed's side. It looks like Adrift maybe is having some connection issues as they sit in the middle of the court. Greed is going to go ahead and take advantage of that and get an extra goal as we set up for the next 50-50. Hopefully Adrift can get those issues sorted out, and it looks like they definitely do as things go Adrift's way onto the blue side of the court, and they are able to take possession of the ball from Greed, but not for very long though. Greed immediately has that possession back, but it does not matter because Adrift is able to take it and take that shot onto the court, getting his first score, bringing the game to 4-1 with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, Greed just barely lost that dribble control, barely going too fast, and Adrift just is going to score a goal right over his head. Greed not able to make that clearance in time, so Adrift coming alive as we reach almost the halfway point, crossing that 3-minute marker, but Adrift not having the boost to keep up with the ball is going to have to play a bit further back. Greed not in sight at all, will finally appear right in the goalie when it matters. Clears the ball, but Adrift trying to get on the aggressive will end up losing it to Greed. Trying to get the boost to try to keep himself alive. Will take it off his head. Tries to go for the bounce play. Will get it. Greed not able to get back in time.
Greed was unable to materialize out of thin air a second time, and so as a result, Adrift is 1 point closer to tying up this game, sending it to 4-3 with 2 minutes and 36 seconds remaining. And with Adrift having possession of the ball, Greed on the defense did his defense a little bit poorly, and now Adrift has the open shot, is able to tie this game up 4-4 with 2 minutes and 31 seconds, and this is the sort of high score that we were talking about. 2 scores in less than 15 seconds. This is what we expected from Adrift. This is what we expected from Greed. We expect both of them to immediately punish any sort of miscalculation, or in Greed's case, misrotation and the overcommit there, and Adrift is able to immediately score 3 times in a row, taking this 4-5 with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. But now Greed has possession of the ball, is going to quickly lose that. The ball is up in contest.
Yeah, and Adrift has definitely been coming alive in this half, as he started off not as strong as you want to see, but getting a 6th goal is what you want to see to secure that 2-goal lead. And he's an extremely talented 1v1 player, and his rank in 1v1s is actually higher than his 3v3, and that is proof in the pudding as he scores a 3rd goal to secure this lead, making it 4-7.
Adrift has decided within the last minute that they would really like to win this. Very much please and thank you. Get out of my way, Greed, says Adrift as they go for another shot under Greed's goal. Is unable to make the commit and will now be unable to protect their own goal. Greed is getting this 1 point closer to the what looked like for a while just the Adrift show with 4 goals in a row, but now we are 5-7 with 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. Adrift has possession of the ball, will likely take some shots here. Greed is there to defend, so this will be up to who can take the better shot here as Adrift is setting up for just that perfect, waiting for Greed to get just out of the way. Greed is still able to defend, and because of that successful defense, Greed is rewarded by possession of the ball, and now it is Adrift's turn to defend their goal against Greed's shots. The first shot will miss, and Adrift is going to go ahead and take back possession of the ball immediately after that first shot, Mitch, which is what you should do if you'd like to be an exceptional 1v1 player. Greed is able to switch that back over, but Adrift will be able to stop any further shots onto the goal and take it to the blue side of the court and able to score on Greed before Greed could even get there to even hope of defending, leaving our score 5-8 with 1 minute and 1 second remaining. This is currently heavily in Adrift's favor. Greed will really have to pull it out of themselves if they would like to tie this or win.
Yeah, and it seems right now Adrift is having free range of the map, and it has been paying in their favor. But since Greed did get knocked out by Cran in round 2, after his round 1 performance, he could make it, but he's going to have to make a solid run through this loser's bracket. Right now, Adrift having a solid lead might put that to an end. Greed does clear the ball and has a good shot and goal, has the boost, but is not able to beat out the defense coming out from Adrift right now. And Adrift will even take it and try to go for the long shot. Has the boost, but Greed is there with the clear, denying it even in the air. Greed will end up even bumping him, but bumps him into a great defensive position, so he will stop it. So Adrift trying to, but Greed with the relentless assault will be able to score the goal, trying to minimize that distance. It's now 6 and 8, but 10 seconds on the board. The pressure is on for Greed. He will get a very open goal right in the corner, no less. We're in the so close to getting overtime. Adrift needs to play the defense of his life right now. He will win the 50-50, but just barely. Seems that he will end up taking it. So, a great performance by Adrift. And you know, D'Angelo, you can see how going in alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your team skills. We just saw that in the last play with Adrift taking down Greed. You can see how far they've come since the last time that they were in the Rumble. Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. I'd like to shout out Coach Jake. And if you're one of those watching that hasn't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's a fast track to rank up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the standings as very quick matches going back to back and very high scoring matches we can see already here in both the winners and the losers. One of these upcoming matches for the semifinals already in that winners bracket is going to be Cran and Greed, who did end up falling there. We do see Cats and Thrift, as well as Greed and Adrift, with Thrift and Crazy Cats. Exciting matches to look forward to. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back with the winners finals for the Esports Tower Rocket League Winter Ones event.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Esports Tower. Our website offers over 350 different fan favorites that are fully customizable. To begin, click on the product category or featured item to get started. To further customize your new gear, click the blue View More Designs button and pick your favorite design. Thank you for visiting the Esports Tower store.
Welcome back to this broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble. We are broadcasting it here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Cats and Cran to face off for a spot in the grand finales in a best of three. I'm your host, Brennan Bearlad. Joined with me is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. And we want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from the clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over 1.2 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but also worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players that receive these scholarships are talented, hardworking, driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see these opportunities these players are getting. As we wait to jump into our match, we can also help out these players as much as we can with Doc's keys to the game, which are, of course, presented by Esports Tower. And for Duck's keys to the game in Rocket League, we know that it is going to be to create mistakes, punish the DBL commit, don't overstay your welcome, and make sure to bump opponents to disrupt their plays. And of course, those are presented to us by Esports Tower, where you can score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, and perform your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. We are ready here to jump into the winners bracket round 3 with Cats taking up Crayons. It's time to get into the winner's side. So we look at both of these players who have looked incredibly strong tonight in this solo event and have had the chance to qualify for grand finals right here. So let's see where the first final is and who will fall to the losers bracket for the finale.
And it looks like Cats has immediate possession of the ball. Crayon is going to kind of turn that around, put Cats a little bit on the defensive. Cats is going to take it back. Crayon is going to defend against the shot on their goal and is able to take possession of the ball and try to take it to score on Cats. Cats is there defensively ready. It feels like neither team is really ready to fully commit to the goal until Cats goes for it. Crayon is able to easily deflect, and now Crayon is going to go ahead and retake possession of the ball just to hand it off over to Cats. It feels like Crayon is not willing to commit fully to the blue side of the court, as Cats is going to go ahead and dribble it down, and Crayon and the crossbar will be able to successfully defend against their shot. And now the reward for that is Crayon getting their own shot for the first time, committing to hard pushing on the blue side, is able to get that first goal, taking our game from 0-1 with 4 minutes and 4 seconds remaining.
Yeah, first blood going over to the side of Crayon is what you want to see if you're Crayon. Got to be feeling good after that, especially having that first goal take a whole minute. And Cats is one of these players we have not had the pleasure of casting in this Rumble yet, and they're actually here on the coaching staff for Esports Tower. They're a very talented high school player, and they're primarily focused on 1v1s as well. But it seems that Crayon is going to have a field day with them getting the first 2 goals for their side.
Crayon definitely coming out with the more dominant showing within this first couple of minutes here. Cats is going to have to work hard to make it up. Crayon is going to go ahead and say, no, you don't get to score on me. Cats is like, that's fine, I have possession of the ball anyway. Is going to try to take it over to Crayon's side of the court, but is going to lose possession and then immediately take it right back and attempt to shoot on the mostly wide open goal, but then Crayon is able to get there, coupled with Cats' missed shot on the goal. Cats is trying to set up the perfect shot here, and Crayon is not going to let them have it, and as such takes possession of the ball, sends it down, and puts Cats on the defensive, able to get the successful demo, and now the shot is basically free. Cats is able to respawn before that free shot can truly come in. Crayons pops it up in an attempt to try to subvert Cats getting it, is able to take the ball, has possession, but it is on Crayon's side of the court, which is always a little bit dangerous when you're dealing with a player as capable as Cats.
Yeah, definitely be on the coaching staff. You have to know all the tips and tricks. Seems that he might have taught Crayon too well, as he has yet to even score a goal, but trying to clear that out here with the dribble. Went for the side play, but Crayon was able to clear it. Just simply body blocking it at that point, not even going for any fancy play, but will finally clear up in the air. Cats does have a solid setup, but will be able to stop that aggressive play. So the Cats now having to get on the defensive. Things are looking good for Crayon here, but Cats right on his tail. The boost will be in the favor of Cats, as he was able to pick that up 100, but Crayon makes sure to do the same as well. But a great shot coming out from Cats. Is not going to be able to make it. Will bounce off that goal post. Let's try to go for round number 2 here. Will finally get it in and get his first goal of the game. Cats does have those 3 saves on the board with 9 shots as well, but Crayon only having 5 was able to make 2 of them, so those are what matter.
There's definitely a lot of tech that went into that last score for Cats there. Cats is currently trying to set up the perfect goals, is what Cats' biggest flaw is. They're not going for the fast, furious kind of thing that Crayon has been doing right now. They're going to take it, try to set up a good goal for themselves. Crayon is going to deflect it, take possession of the ball, try to take it to Cats' side of the court, and Crayon will go ahead and be unable to score. Looks like the net is kind of wide open there for the taking. Crayon is going to miss the net entirely, hand it right over to Cats, which is definitely not something that you would like to do. Cats is going to hand it right back over to Crayon, though, and it feels like the two are passing to each other more than trying to go around.
It's just hot potato at this point. No, you take it. No, you take it. Because these teams are just playing their all-out defensive right now. And even then, a great shot on goal will be able to be blocked by both goalposts right now.
Yep.
Oh, the crossbar up top just hanging out, feeling good, saying, I've done all the work, now it's your turn. As Cats.
Goalpost, best defender, you cannot change my mind.
I mean, they've been the most consistent. They're always there, you could say. But in these 1v1s, things looking good for Cats, but Grand there finally with the defense, trying to get on the offensive, get that third goal, but Cats is not going to be able to. With 30 seconds remaining, this has been our lowest scoring goal game so far, but now with it even at 2-2, 30 seconds on the board, unless these players can make a goal, we will head into overtime, which means pretty much the next goal could secure you the win. Things looking good for Cats. Goes for the goal and gets it. Cats trying to finish this off quickly.
Crayon unable to get there just exactly in time. Cats saw the perfect shot, took it immediately, took it quickly, and time is of the essence in these 1v1s, especially if you want to get as many shots on their goal as you possibly can. Crayon currently has possession of the ball, passes it over to Cats, is unable to defend against Cats' shot on the goal from almost point-blank range, putting us at 4-2 with 13 seconds remaining. This looked like it was Crayon's game in the very beginning, but it's starting to look like Crayon is going to have to pull a miracle to win against Cats here.
Yeah, and it seems that Cats will be continuing on in our winner's bracket with only a second remaining. It is not possible for Crayon to get those 2 goals right off the bat, and as the ball touches the ground, that secures Cats' victory in this winner's bracket. So now it will be Crayon heading down to the loser's bracket, but we have a loser's bracket match for you right now as we head over to a Drift taking on Thrift in losers bracket round 3. Thrift looking to advance in the losers brackets off to the finals. Both Thrift and Adrift have had a really solid night so far throughout the event, and have both have a hand in knocking some of the favorites coming in the night, but now they will have to battle each other to remain in this event and a chance at the grand finals, and that's what you want to see if you're Adrift, kicking things off strongly within the first 10 seconds.
And now Thrift, there's a little bit of pressure on them to try to keep that up and match that. Thrift is going to go ahead and get the 50-50, take it to Adrift side of the court with still possession of the ball, able to kind of thread it around Adrift, and that was a very skillful shot made there.
Yeah, these are both players we have seen in prior matches being able to knock out both Greed and Crazy Cat. They're excellent 1v1 players, so now things are getting to tooth and nail as Adrift gets the second goal for himself. This is definitely going to be one of those higher scoring matches as both players having a very strong offensive, which usually leads to a lot of goals, and it seems he's going to bounce it off his own head and run it right into the goal. Not looking good for Thrift as Adrift having a very commanding lead.
As we go into this next one, Adrift has possession of the ball, potentially could get a 4th score here. Thrift does stand between him and the goalpost, makes the dive to steal the ball unsuccessfully, and Adrift is up 4-1, and as we have 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here, Adrift retakes possession of the ball, taking it to Thrift's side of the court, and Thrift will have to pull some tricky stuff to catch this up, which we've definitely seen before. And now we go 1-5 to the favor of Adrift with 4 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. The amount of goals that Adrift has scored in this first minute, I think, is pretty telling of what will happen the rest of the game.
Yeah, we've seen players come alive in the second half, and it seems Thrift is trying to do exactly that. Will end up scoring his second goal with 4:03 still remaining on the board. Is going to barely win out that 50-50, but Adrift is right there to disrupt his play. He will have to end up going for the 100 as he was out of boost there, but Adrift is trying to do his best to end up clearing it. Not even going to go for the bicycle kick. Goes for the play, not even having to use the goalpost. Makes a clean shot in, and already closing that distance. Only 2 goals are separating these players from overtime.
We've been seeing both of these players commit to the dive save before the ball is really ready to be dive saved, and that's cost each of them a couple of points here as Adrift takes possession of the ball. It has the opportunity to shoot on a completely wide open net, is unable to capitalize on that before Thrift is there taking possession of the ball, taking it to Adrift's side of the court. Adrift will now be on the defensive, is able to successfully subvert the shot shot on the goal and take possession of the ball. Will Thrift be able to stop their own goal? They will not be able to, putting this game at 3-6 with 3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in Adrift's favor.
Yeah, Drift having a very commanding defensive play, definitely outperforming Thrift so far, but if Thrift is trying to prove us wrong, getting his 4th goal now, trying to keep that goal difference not too high, coming alive in these later matches after seeing what Adrift is completely capable of. Goes for another great shot on goal, but will be unable to get it as we're closing in on the end of the 3rd minute. The goal will end up blocked by those goal posts, once again being the best goalie in the game so far. These players just barely missing out. The most precise shots will slowly just edge it in. Thrift doing his best to block it, but will not be able to get there in time.
A nice double touch ends with a nice goal. The 50-50 is going to go the way of Thrift just barely, and they will take possession of the ball and try to score on Adrift to try to even up this 4-7 into now a 5-7 with 2 minutes and 46 seconds remaining. Not what you're looking to see if you're hoping for Adrift to win this, but if you want Thrift to make the comeback, then by all means, they are fully capable, as they show with almost another score. But again, those goalposts are going to stop that best goalies in the game. And then Adrift takes possession of the ball and is able to make a almost across the field score, taking our score from 5-8 with 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we saw Thrift even attempted the defense, but did not have the boost to keep up, and a great juking out of Adrift will let him get a 6th goal in this matchup. So Adrift, things not looking too good, only having that 2-goal lead, and with 2:20 still on the board, Thrift has plenty of time to close that distance, and with a great defense like that, he does not have the boost to clear from Adrift, as Adrift was able to set up just in time, but picking up that 100 might give him the chance, as the ball is set up perfectly right in front of his goal. He's able to finally clear off to the left side and is going to go for the wall play. Gets a great shot to goal. Adrift is not there in time, and it will go in. So now with 2 minutes remaining on the board, only 1 goal is setting these players apart from having a tie. And with Thrift taking the 50v50 in his favor, things are not looking too good for Adrift, but he will be able to clear it.
Adrift is able to defend against the shot on their goal, but that was almost a very nice shot there. Thrift taking possession of the ball, has another shot here. Adrift is going to go ahead and take that from them and take their own shot on the Thrift's goal, get that score, taking us at 7-9 in Adrift's favor with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. This is still anybody's game. There are only 2 goals separating the 2 players and 1 minute and 37 seconds to get 2 goals, as Adrift has possession of the ball. It's contested by Thrift, but not completely taken away, as Adrift is going to go ahead and take that to the blue side of the court and take a shot onto the goal, likely. But Thrift is going to subvert that, take the ball, and as their reward, they're going to go ahead and try to take a shot on the orange goal. Adrift is going to take it back, shoot at a wide open net, get the score, leaving us with 7-10 with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. If you're an Adrift fan, this looks pretty good for you. If you're a Thrift fan, this game is absolutely not over yet, as Adrift takes possession and Thrift is forced to defend their goal post.
Yeah, and right now it's a lot of mind games between these 2 players, as Thrift just runs away with the ball, able to get that 8th goal, make it to 8-10 distance. But whenever they've tried to set up for those dribble plays, going head to head, it's just a mind games of, will he slow down and jump over me? Will I have to go with the jump over play and go high? It's all about these mind games in the 1v1s. You don't have any other players to rely on. So all eyes are on you. Goes for a great dribble play, kept it underneath. Adrift thought he was going to go high. And again, these guessing games is always what you want to be guessing on, and he's not able to get it that time around. So with it being 9 and 10, 45 seconds on the board, Adrift is going to have to play the best defense of his life, and it seems he's been able to do so, especially having the most saves in the game. Will bounce off that right goal post, not going in, but Thrift is there in the goal for the defense, not able to clear it, and Adrift making it once again that 2-goal lead.
A nice double touch there gives Adrift that 2-goal lead back leaving our score with 9-11 with 26 seconds left. Things are looking a little sketchy for Thrift right now, but it definitely can be turned around as you can score a goal or two easily within the next 15 seconds. With that demo is definitely not going to help, though, as now Adrift is left with an almost completely open court. Thrift is going to miss the commit, and as such, they are going to lose a point as Adrift goes up another one. 9-12 with 8 seconds remaining. This is looking like Adrift's game.
Yeah, he's definitely having that commanding lead, and with only 5 seconds remaining and the 50-50 just being stalled out in the center, Adrift having it even on his side is going to go for the air dribble. A great play with even a shot on goal, but it's going to hit the ground just in time. So Adrift looking to move on the losers bracket. I want us to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Thank you, Esports Tower. But as we get ready to jump into our next match, let's also take a quick look at the standings of where these matches leave us, because those were the semifinals, and these players are trying to get into the grand finals. So now it is going to be quite interesting of where these players might lead us for these grand finals.
From what we've seen from Cats in their beginning of the game is, we've only seen them in one game, granted, but what we've seen from Cats so far is that their beginning of the game is weak, and then they start to come alive as the game goes on and as they get more warmed up. Now, they might be warmed up because they've played a match already, but we expect Cats to come out more or less in the mid to late game if they're going to end up winning. This could still go either way. Both players obviously fought that hard to be there. We expect it to be likely a high-scoring game, but Cats has some very important defensive capabilities. Cats' game was one of the only low-scoring games that we've seen all night, so we expect to see some stellar defensive play there as well.
Yeah, and being one of those Esports Tower coaches, you expect them to have that great performance, and both those players were very evenly matched with how low-scoring that game was, as you mentioned. But before we catch our final games of the night, we're going to actually go ahead and throw it over to our very own Doug Haskell, who sat down with a Bronco, a content creator, Peyton Wayton Wilkins, who is a Rocket League YouTuber very well known in the scene, and they're going to talk about the story arc of this Rumble.
Down with internet sensation. Wait. The question I genuinely have for you is storytelling. Your videos have developed into, and especially the last year, kind of a clear story arc. You start in a place, you take the viewer through an experience and through some understandings to reach a place where they can make their own decision about it. Is that intentional every time you're looking at a story arc, and how do you come up with that?
I mean, for me, like, one of the biggest things that, like, pretty much anyone who's successful in the whole content creation thing does is they create anticipation for what's going to happen by the end of the video. So if it's like a tutorial, then, like, by the end of this video, you'll know this, that. You know, and so the viewer is looking forward to that anticipation of this is all going to happen. Or if it's a documentary style video, it's going to be like, I'm not going to say it as directly as that, but I'm going to hint towards things. And little did they know that this moment led to the biggest moment in their career. You know, that anticipation is really what creates that success.
When you watch a show, sometimes you'll like, well, that was an interesting thing for them to say. Even documentary styles like the Voice or other show. A judge will mention, well, he still has his steel, and you're just waiting for it. It's the Hitchcock loaded gun. Right. If you show a loaded gun in the first act, you got to, it's got to be used in Act 3. Mm-hmm. But that's interesting to me that you think about it in a storytelling way, because you understand that that's what makes good content, that anticipation.
Totally.
And so for somebody just starting out, how important is it for them to just think through what they want to say, versus just, I'm just going to start recording and that's the truth?
Planning is so big for me. Like, a lot of people don't notice, but I spend like at least 5 hours planning out a video most of the time. It obviously depends on the video, but like if it's a full-on scripted thing, I do it just like, it's kind of crazy how much English class applies to what I'm doing today. Because I never would have thought like video production, English class, but no, I'm literally like making essays, intro, body, conclusion, and I'm planning it out with an outline and everything. And that's pretty much how I format my videos.
That's awesome.
Anyway, we are welcome right back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena here with the Esports Tower Rumble. And we are looking to continue on to the two final matches of the night, the grand finals for both the winners and the losers bracket. And to kick things off, we are going to head over to Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, and that is to create mistakes, punish the DBL commit, don't overstay your welcome, and bump opponents to disrupt. And that's brought to us by Esports Tower, where you can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure, where you'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, we are going to head into the losers bracket finals between Cran and Adrift. It's time to see where our last player will be advancing as we jump into the finals. With these last three competitors in this event looking so strong, all three deserve to be in the grand finals, but only one can advance from this game to join Cats. Will it be Cran going up against Cats, or will it be Adrift who will make the long losers bracket run to the grand finals? Let's go ahead and find out. As Adrift able to clear it so early on, things are looking good for these two players.
And it looks like we are back to the 3v3 format, which does, as we see, is not necessarily more low scoring, but it is by nature less individual mistake punishing, because there are two other people that could make up for that as we go in here. Adrift currently has possession of the ball. It looks like Crayon will try to stop them from scoring on the goal. They are unable to, and Adrift picks up the second score of this match here with 2 shots and 2 scores, and is the only one with any shots or scores on the board currently out of 6 players.
And I believe that is just a production issue. This is still 1v1s, as they are the only two. I believe that is just from a prior Esports Tower Rumble. So we are still continuing on with these 1v1s, but now we will be able to see their accolades, a better look of the time in which each player we are watching has contributed, as already we can see on Adrift's side, he has those 3 shots on goal as well as 2 goals, whereas the 1 shot Cran has made went right in. And now we can also equally track their boost meters, but we do have those leftover players from prior. So it will be Adrift in the orange and Cran in the blue. These players have been playing for tooth and nail to get into these final matches for the losers bracket. You have to wait and see who will continue on to face Cats in the grand finale, and it seems that Cran is not looking too hot in this early couple of minutes, as Adrift has that 3-1 lead.
Adrift definitely being the one that's taking more shots and therefore succeeding in more shots. They also have possession of the ball most of the time, leaving Crayon to play a purely defensive game. It seems like Adrift was came out a little bit stronger than Crayon was expecting, and they're trying to kind of like rectify this. But with 3 minutes and 19 seconds on the clock and the game at 1-3, this is still anybody's game. Crayon can still easily come back here from a 2-goal deficit, especially if they miss the goal and are able to defend against Adrift's shot here. Giving possession back to Adrift, however, may prove to be a bad idea, but it looks like they're taking things onto the orange side of the court. Not quite. Crayon has managed to not take possession of the ball, but kind of subvert Adrift's attempts at shooting to score the goal post. It kind of feels like the two are going really, really back and forth, neither one of them making a ton of progress, as Crayon is going to attempt to break away, but Adrift is going to take it right back. Tries for the double touch, is unable to do it. Crayon does not let them set up. That does not discourage Adrift. They are definitely, absolutely going to try again here. And Crayon is left playing an almost purely defensive game.
Yeah, and it's been working out in his favor only for so long, as he did finally go for a shot and goal. The ball does stagnate in front of Adrift's goal, but make sure to clear it very quickly. And Cran has looked very strong throughout this event and has only dropped a game to Cat so far, which got him in the losers bracket in the first place, whereas Adrift has played more games than Cran, and with his impressive losers bracket run, that could make the difference in this game. But it seems Cran right now is getting the offensive, and with that demo, he is going to be given a free goal with that. Adrift not even respawning in time for the defense. So trying to bring things back, as Cran does get that second goal and trying to win that 50-50. He will end up not being able to manage that, but he's going to set up for the defensive, even with the boost advantage as Adrift is on the 0. But he's still going to make it in. Cran thought he was going to go high, but Adrift ended up going low. So he will lose that. It is now 2-4.
This is exactly the mind games that you were talking about, playing with your opponent here. Thought they were going to go high, they end up going low. And Crayon is now going to try to break away and get that score onto Adrift. The ball is flung to the side, and Crayon's plans are thwarted momentarily. Adrift still stationed there to try to defend their goal against Crayon. They are able to successfully subvert, and as a reward, they take possession of the ball and are going to try to score on Crayon, who is able to more than keep up with Adrift's boost as they both go hurtling down the field, and Crayon is in possession of the ball once more, restarting the cycle, ready to take the shot onto Adrift here. And they successfully get the shot, making this game more even.
Yeah, definitely been an even game between these two competitors. Just a high scoring one that we have not seen when these games are so close. They just get a lot of positioning mistakes.
Speaking of which,
quickly it was tied up for Cran, getting that 4th goal, bring us to 4-4 with only 1:03 remaining. This is a very close game, and it seems the demos also have made all the difference, because anytime someone gets a demo, they get a goal scored. So it seems that is something to keep an eye out for, which is why we pay so much attention to the boost, because the boost allows you to get those demos, which really gives you the free goals so many times over and over again. But right now, Cran looking very good to score a goal, will end up getting it, and that's the first time he will be in the lead.
Crayon is absolutely playing for the late game here. We mentioned it with Cats earlier that their mid to late game would probably be stronger, but currently Crayon is showing that exact same thing, being in the lead for the first time, and with 31 seconds left, not a bad time to be in the lead there.
Not a bad time indeed. 30 seconds remaining, as you mentioned. 5-4, Adrift, the pressure is on. He's had such a good losers bracket win, but it seems that might come to an end as Cran, once he's in the lead, he's going to solidify it, bringing it 6-4, 18 seconds left. Adrift has to start playing the 1v1s out of his mind, and it seems he's going to kick it off, closing that gap. 14 seconds on the board. It is 6-5. If he can get this last goal, that will send us to overtime, but Cran trying to win that 1v1. Adrift gets a great shot in the goal, barely too high, wasn't able to go for the bump play and get it right back. But the time not on his side, the ball not even in the air, can't touch it in time. Looks like Cran will be moving on to the grand finale here, going up against Cats. We are ready to kick it right off, actually, as these matches are just going back to back to back. So it's going to be Cats facing off against Cran for the 1S championship in this Esports Tower Rumble. Cats has gone through the entire winners bracket without dropping a single game and has looked incredible throughout this event, whereas Cran has only dropped one game, and it was to Cats. So now it's kind of a revenge match here between these two players, as we are looking to who will take it home in the WinterOnes championship. Excited to see how this match plays out. These 1v1s have been so consistent, and you know they're coming in for that revenge play.
Oh, absolutely. Crayon is out here to win. Cats is by default favored in this map. The theory goes if you did it once, you could do it again. But I'm not quite so sure about that, because Crayon's been spending these last couple of games warming up, perfecting their strategies. Likely the player that Cats faced at the beginning of this bracket will not be the same Crayon that they are going to face here as the two go head-to-head in another 1v1.
Yeah, and even the Esports Towers coaches expected this matchup to be the grand finales, as both of these players are incredible 1S players. Cats has looked so dominant through the winners bracket, but Cran was able to make it hit in the round 3 game with it being so close. So we expect another close game, as Cran is going to stick in the blue and Cats in the orange, but Cats kicking things off with a very dominating first goal within the first 15 seconds.
And this is exactly the opposite of what we expected. We expected them to come out with maybe some defensive play instead of some offensive play. So it seems like both Cats and Cran have both changed their play styles and kind of added some more moves to their repertoire in this going against each other again. As Cats is going to take possession of the ball, Cran is put on the defensive as we head over onto the blue side of the court. Cats makes the shot. Cran is able to defend. and able to take possession of the ball and send it on the orange side of the court, and Cats is unable to do anything about that score as Crayon sent it from around the half field and was able to just cleanly send it sailing through the goal.
Yeah, we saw right there at the end, he just simply did not have the boost in order to catch up with the ball, and it simply had to let it go, take the L. So now things are looking very good for Cran. We know he can play a great defense since we just casted his match against Adrift. Adrift, who's even one of those esports coaches, could not best his player. So now we will have to wait and see how this matchup, the return match, if you will, between these two players, both even having the max boost, just waiting for the ball to get set up, and Cran's going to end up taking it away. Even gets the demo against Cats. That could lead to a goal if the ball gets to the ground in time, but he simply did not have the boost for the reset. Cats is able to get the save in the air. Cran was not able to make that shot into a goal, but getting that first demo could definitely give you that leg up. A great defense coming out from Cran. Once again, midair is able to dodge it, but Cats definitely setting up, having the boost advantage, just reading what Cran's defense looks like. They finally read the play correctly, stuck on the ground. Cran getting another demo here. He's looking to play finally on the offensive against Cats, and it seems Cats is not there in time, physically blocking him out, and gets it.
That was an exceptional play by Cram. This replay is definitely worth watching. Physically, at the same time as guiding the ball in, keeping Cats from touching it. If that wasn't the best demonstration of mechanical skill we've seen all night, I don't know what is. Or certainly, bare minimum, the flashiest. As Crayon is going to go ahead and win that 1v1, but Cats is going to immediately take possession of the ball, looking to try to score on Crayon as we take it over to the blue side of the court. Crayon is in position to defend. They do so successfully with the first shot, and as their reward, take possession of the ball, and they're going to try to shoot it into this almost wide open net. Cats is able to get there just in time, using up all of their boost, and Crayon and Cats are now playing the pass back and forth game right in front of the goal as they both try to get some more boost to maybe make some bigger plays here. Cats is going to retake possession of the ball and put Crayon on the defensive here. And it looks like Crayon will be, the goalpost actually will be able to block that first shot where Crayon could not, but Cats still has possession of the ball. So this attempt at a goal is still alive.
Yeah, the ball got so close to going in. We saw it just edging on that border, but was not able to be fully secured, as Crayon did have that advantage ever so slightly. So now he will take ball possession, but the ball is still on his side, so you have to be wary if you're in his shoes right now. But it looks like he's getting set up for a shot and goal, maybe trying to go for the backboard play. Will not be able to get it, as Cats simply bumped him out of the way, trying to catch up, but Cats had the ever so slightly yard or two advantage on him. So he will capitalize and get that goal. And with this being the grand finales, it is even going to be a best of three, so it is not the one and done. These players are in for a long siege here, hopefully.
And as we see here, Crayon and Cats going in, the 50-50 goes the way of Cats. They take immediate possession of the ball, looking to get another goal, which they immediately do right off the tail of their one that they just got. This is looking like Cats is really coming alive here, scoring the goals, leaving our score at 2-3 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so definitely off to a, honestly, could go to overtime the first time we've seen it, as these players are just trying to stick neck and neck. We have 2 minutes on the board, so it is easy for one to get a runaway. Both Cats just having that 1 goal lead. Cran is definitely trying to get that revenge in, as he made it all the way through the losers bracket, even taking down Adrift, who had been there from the start. But Cran's there with another great save, playing the defense of his life right now, trying to win this first round against Cats. But Cats says, you aren't gonna make it. Gets another goal, securing his lead right now. So we are not looking too good for Cran right now, only having those 2 goals.
Cran was very nicely played by Cats there, honestly. Cats knew that Crayon didn't have the boost to get there in time, saw their opportunity, and they absolutely took it, as the 50-50 is going to go the way of Cats, as it has most 50-50s here. But Crayon is the one in possession of the ball. Cats is going to go ahead and take it, and with that, score. And this last minute has really just felt like Cats it's like a Cats monopoly. They're the only one that's been scoring. They've done so in a relatively short amount of time. The game was tied not very long ago at all, as this next 50-50 is going to go on almost to neither side here, and now it's all up to who is able to get possession as the ball comes back to the ground. Both of them are kind of playing chicken with another, looking to see who's going to grab it first. Crayon's going to grab it first and is going to go ahead and try for that goal. Is going to be sent away by Cats as we head onto the blue side of the court. Cats now has possession of the ball. Crayon's going to go ahead, take that away, grab some boost, though Cats is the one with more boost here. Crayon might just not be able to keep up with Cats on any play that either one of them tries to make right now.
Yeah, and with only a minute remaining, he has to make up 3 goals just for a chance at overtime, so he will make up one of them now, even getting the hat trick coming out here for Crayon. So he's coming back in style. But if you look at the side of accolades, Cats has nothing but shots that we can see, whereas Crayon has a little bit more of that diversity on his side. We see a couple of his goals, but in these 1v1s, the accolades are always going to end up going off screen just because these players are doing everything they physically can. Not many demos coming out in this matchup either that have been that big of a game-changing, but Cats does go for the shot, will end up bouncing off that right goalpost. But of course,
just as you talk about
curse, there goes the demo from Cats onto Crayon, so it seems he's just going to try to get that goal, secure his 3-0 lead once again. But Crayon barely cutting it off at the top right corner of the goal. And now even the bumping coming in trying to say, let me clear it so I can get a shot on goal. And not there in time. Crayon within 1 goal of overtime with 11 seconds remaining.
That is 2 of the 3 goals that Crayon needs to make up. I think they can honestly do it with the 11 seconds that they have if they perform like they have the past 2 goals, because neither of those took 11 seconds to do.
Yeah, so now time is not in his favor. Nobody has any boost, but he's going to get it anyway with 7 seconds on the board. So now it is whichever player manages to score the next goal could easily take this round in this best of 3 and send us to a round 2 and possibly game match point if they're able to clean sweep it. But with round 1 being so close to ending and overtime on the horizon, Crayon tries to go for it. Doesn't have the boost to get back in time. Things look like it's going to go Cats' way, and with the second on the board, another hat trick coming out for Cats. Trying to even things up with Crayon, but 1 second remaining. Seems that is going to be the end of Crayon's dreams of 2-0ing his opponent Cats. Cats is going to secure as we head over to round number 2. The ball will maintain up in the air, but no one's even close, so Cats will take it. Seems that it wasn't even a best of 3. Cats is just going to win it all, so he will be the grand finalist for our Esports Tower WinterOnes Rumble. Very good on Cats, honestly. I mean, it was the revenge match of Crayon coming back saying, I won the loser's bracket, here I am, so now Cats, what can you do? He was not able to make it in time. But if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice as well. It's great to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Again, thank you, Esports Tower. But as we finish up this broadcast of the WinterOnes, we do have to talk about the ICCU player of the game of the night, and it's really hard not to say that it is most likely Cats, seeing as he won it all.
I don't know. I think the obvious pick is Crayon. They lost to Cats the first time, which is a little bit unfortunate, and then they won the whole losers bracket just to go against Cats again and barely lost. It was a close fight both times, with Cats just barely coming out on top. That last goal that led to Cats' victory came within the final 7 seconds, and before that it was almost Crayon's game. Crayon missed the goal, and then Cats was able to capitalize on that and score their own goal. But if Crayon had made that goal, it could have been very different. And so it looks like it will be Crayon, which I personally think makes a lot of sense. I'm going to be honest, I'm supposed to be an unbiased caster, but you can't help but feel a little bit sad for Cran after winning the whole losers bracket, coming back to face Cats and being so incredibly close to winning it all after coming through the losers bracket, but just not quite being able to do so. But, I mean, you don't win the tournament, but you get player of the game. Small victories.
Yeah, you got to take those victory in stride. So, Cran will be the ICCU player of the game, which is brought to us by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Cran is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And as we prepare to close out this match, any big takeaways, D'Angelo? We saw a lot of great plays. We saw Adrift go the entire losers bracket, ended up losing it out to Cran. So, a lot of things to see. Any big takeaways?
I think the biggest takeaway is that in a 3v3 matchup, you really don't see as many mistakes that you're making because your teammates are able to make up for those, right? But in a 1v1, every single mistake you make is punished, especially in this especially as we got further into the tournament. You could see more and more often someone would dive to save the goal, but the shooter of the shot was intending on them to dive, and so the second they overcommitted to that dive, shooting across the screen, they were able to take the shot, make the shot, or especially like overcommitting or not having enough boost, which is a rotation issue. All of those punishments all of those misplays, those micro plays that are relatively inconsequential when you're playing the team game, will be immediately noticed and immediately taken advantage of, and that's where most of our scores came from.
Yeah, so great of big takeaways, but we do want to issue a congratulations to all the teams in the group stage and for a great showing and some entertaining games of the night. But we will be back next week with the final regular season of the Rumble event, and where we will see which teams will be heading to the top, heading into the club championship. So make sure to tune in next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. ET right here on the Boise State Twitch channel. And we'll close out with our top 5 plays of the night, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, which invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 job offerings, a $20,000 sign-on bonus, and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Enjoy these top 5 plays.
Not change my mind.
I mean, they've been the most consistent. They're always there, you could say. But in these 1v1s, things looking good for Cats, but Cran there finally with the defense, trying to get on the offensive, get that third goal, but Cats is not going to be able to. With 30 seconds remaining, this has been our lowest scoring goal game so far, but now with it even at Gemmo here, it's looking to play finally on the offensive against Cats, and it seems Cats is not there in time, physically blocking him out, and gets it.
That was an exceptional play by Cram. This replay is definitely worth watching. Physically, at the same time as guiding the ball in, keeping on the court, able to get things quickly. Crazy Cat responds just in time to defend their own goal. But will they be able to turn off Thrift? I mean, that demo definitely helps and kind of gives them the opportunity to take it to Thrift side. Thrift, like Crazy Cat, will spawn just in time to get that amazing dive defense, but unlikely. See if he can get his own shot that Crazy Cat will block. Crazy Cat was there to do that. Greed is not quite done shooting, however. It looks like Crazy Cat is going to be able to turn this around. Not quite. This is still anybody's ball, anybody's game, honestly, because we've seen 5 or more points. That was an incredible really has that possession back, but it does not matter because Adrift is able to take it and take that shot onto the court, getting his first score, bringing the game to 4-1 with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, Greed just barely lost that dribble control, barely going too fast, and Adrift just is going to score a goal right over his head.